Hello, wonderful friends. This is Jeroboam Kimtai, and this is Electrical Awareness brought to you through this wonderful YouTube channel. YouTube channel name is Jeroboam Kimtai. Today, we are still talking on matters electricity and doing some kind of information and electrical awareness. Have you ever asked yourself whether you can store electricity for future use? Some are saying yes, some are saying maybe, are saying I have never asked myself such a question. But the question today that has been going on in our discussions as electricians is this: can hydroelectric power generated be stored in generation companies and then be released later to the national grid of that given nation? That is the discussion we are doing today. Now, electricity can be stored, yes. But the electricity that can be stored is electricity in form of direct current, but electricity in form of alternating current cannot be stored per se. Although ways are being explored on how this can be done. Now, but again, there are times when hydroelectric power is generated, it is generated in a given maximum or enough amount when there's enough water. But when there's the water reservoirs are low, when we don't have enough water, then this generation becomes quite a menace. And this discussion is now going and is being lifted into higher levels of discussions, because even in nations nowadays, you can hear, without mentioning countries, though it is in public domain, we have countries that do not have electricity 24/7, that is 24 hours, 7 days a week. Why? Because there's no enough generation of power, or we have failure of machines that generate power. But today we are talking about enough sources of water that can generate power. Now, going back again as I began, we cannot store alternating current power that is generated. Hydroelectric power is what is popular in electric supply in any given country worldwide, be it in the US, be it in Kenya, be it in South Africa, be it in any nation, be it in Uganda, or name them. Especially in the UK, they have introduced a way of doing hydroelectric power generation in a very wonderful way. So sit back and I will be informing you on how these people in the United States, United Kingdom, and other developed nations are storing power for future use. So you're welcome. And before you continue, kindly share, relax as we watch, and then subscribe. And if you are a subscriber already, kindly brace yourself for this wonderful series that I have now begun after some break, and get informed as we continue. Now, we have said that we cannot store hydroelectric power. Why? Because hydroelectric power is alternating in nature when it is generated. So it is alternating current kind of electricity. It is generated at 25 kilovolts, all right? So it is very high to store such voltage in a battery. Although people are trying to explore ways of introducing this high lithium kind of batteries that can store enough power, this has not been explored enough. And so we cannot store alternating current. Now, somebody may be asking, why don't we generate DC current then? Direct current cannot be transmitted into far areas, given that generation of power is done very far from where the consumer is. So we opt for alternating current as opposed to direct current. And so since it is alternating current that is generated, therefore we need to see how we can store alternating current without using batteries. No, now power is generated as it is being transmitted. Transmission happens when generation is continuing. So the question comes when we don't have enough water Now talking of hydroelectric power. Now, hydroelectric power can be done in a very special way of generation for it to be consistent in its generation. Now, this is what we are going to introduce now. We have what we call pumped storage hydropower, PSH. Pumped storage hydropower is in this concept. As normal hydroelectric power is being generated, it is connected to the national grid, USA, they say utility grid, and so on. But at the same time, the same power is stepped down in a way that it can be used with pumps, the pumps that can be used to pump water into reservoirs in higher elevations, on mountains, and so on. So when we have enough water in normal dams, in normal hydroelectric stations, we generate power knowing that this water may go down. So what do? We pump the same water an amount of water into elevated places so that we use this water to generate power, hydroelectric power, when we have water shortage, so to speak. Okay, but again, we may also use say wind energy or solar energy. When there is sun, we can generate electricity using the sun and pump water into reservoirs, or when there is enough wind, we can use wind power to generate power to pump water into reservoirs, and then it is opened when it is needed to do hydroelectric power. So did you know that? That is what we want to talk about in our subsequent lessons on electricity. Otherwise, thank you. Continue watching this channel and brace yourselves as you share also.